It was a crisp spring morning at Maxwell Air Force Base, and the mess hall buzzed with quiet anticipation. Whispers had spread, President Donald Trump was making a surprise visit. No media entourage, no reporters. Just him, unannounced, walking in among the troops. Such a thing was rare, almost unheard of. Cadet First Class Elena Rios, 22, sat quietly at a corner table. Her breakfast sat untouched. Despite the hum of excitement, she couldn't eat. Nicknamed Iron Wings for her flawless flight simulations, ISA had been struggling all week. Her thoughts were elsewhere. As Sergeant Dawson, the gruff yet kind supervisor, passed her table, he raised an eyebrow at her empty plate. She gave a small, forced smile. "Just not hungry," she said. The base sirens wailed outside, signaling the arrival of a visiting dignitary. Chairs straightened, uniforms adjusted. ISA rose with the others, pressing her lips together. Trump entered, not in a suit, but a windbreaker, flashing a warm smile. "At ease," he said, his voice easy, casual. Applause broke out. Phones came up to snap photos, but his eyes weren't on the cameras. He scanned the room with intent, searching for something deeper. Then he saw it, an empty tray sitting alone. He made his way down the line, exchanging handshakes and small talk with cadets. "Where you from, how's the food, who's got the best aim?" The room chuckled, the tension eased. But when he reached ISA's table, the air shifted. He paused, glanced at the tray, then at her. She stood quickly, fumbling for words. "Sir, I wasn't hungry," she explained. He nodded slightly and gestured to the seat across from her. "Mind if I sit for a minute?" The mess hall fell into stunned silence. Even Sergeant Dawson froze mid-step. "Permission granted, sir," ISA murmured, confused. Trump folded his arms and leaned in. There was no speech, no performance, just presence. He observed her with the gaze of someone who recognized pain without needing an explanation. "A tray tells a story," he said, voice low. ISA's hands trembled as she looked down. She didn't mean to speak, but something in his tone unlocked something inside. "My dad had a stroke last week," she said softly. "He's in a hospital in Montana. He always wanted me in the Air Force, but I wasn't allowed to take emergency leave. I don't even know if I'll get to say goodbye." Trump blinked, visibly surprised. She explained further, she was too close to graduation. One slip-up could jeopardize everything she had worked for. Her voice cracked as she recounted her last call to the hospital. Her father hadn't recognized her voice. She hadn't eaten since. Trump didn't interrupt. He just listened. Then he leaned back, his expression gentle. "ISA, I've met kings and presidents. I've sat with billionaires, and I've sat with mothers holding folded flags at funerals. But the bravest people, they're often the ones no one notices." He nodded toward her tray. "That empty tray. That's not weakness. That's strength in the middle of a storm." Tears filled her eyes. Her shoulders softened for the first time in days. "Thank you, sir," she whispered. The entire hall remained silent. He leaned closer, his voice now just for her. "You're not invisible. Not to me." Then he turned to Sergeant Dawson. "Who's the commanding officer here?" "Colonel Pierce, sir. He's in the command wing." "Good," Trump said. "I'll speak to him." He stood and rested a hand gently on ISA's shoulder. "Hang in there. I've made bigger things move for less." She smiled through tears, half disbelief, half hope. As he turned away, he added with a wink, "And ISA, next time you skip a meal, let it be for something less painful." A soft wave of laughter rippled through the mess hall. The heaviness lifted, if only slightly. Trump scanned the room once more. "Now, where's that famous Air Force mac and cheese I keep hearing about?" He grabbed a tray and got in line with the cadets. Meanwhile, ISA's tray remained empty, but her heart felt just a bit more full. Within the hour, Colonel Pierce was summoned to the command wing by direct presidential request. No press, no announcements. Just a quiet conversation. Trump began with a calm voice. "I sat across from a cadet today. Her father's dying. And she's not allowed to go see him." Colonel Pierce straightened. "Sir, we follow regulation. She's in her final term, any absence could." "I understand," Trump interrupted, gently. "But there's room for humanity. For leadership. I'm not issuing an order. Just reminding you, the Air Force is built on more than procedures. It's built on values." The colonel's shoulders eased. Trump continued, "If she were your daughter, would you keep her from saying goodbye?" Pierce hesitated. "No, sir. I wouldn't." "Then do the right thing," Trump said. The request had been simple: make it quiet. She'd earned dignity, not headlines. That night, ISA heard a soft knock on her dorm room door. A senior officer handed her a sealed envelope. Inside, a note: "Cadet Hartley, you are hereby granted compassionate leave for 72 hours. A military escort will fly you home. Uniform not required." At the bottom, in Sharpie, Colonel Pierce had scribbled, "Don't forget to eat." DT. ISA stared at the paper, caught between tears and disbelief. Her roommate, Cadet Jules Ramos, whooped in celebration. ISA could barely speak. It all felt surreal. But it was real. Within hours, she was aboard a small government aircraft. A single escort and 2 flight medics joined her. The pilot gave her a nod and a quiet promise: they'd get her home safely, and fast. ISA smiled softly. For the first time in days, she felt above the storm, quite literally. As the sun rose and painted the sky in warm hues of pink and gold, she exhaled. "Dad, I'm coming," she whispered to herself. Back on the ground, the hometown hospital received a call unlike any other. They were to prepare for a military arrival, presidentially authorized. A nurse, momentarily stunned, asked for clarification. The voice on the line simply repeated, "One of our own is coming home." ISA stepped through the hospital's entrance, boots echoing against sterile tile. Her flight jacket draped over casual clothes. She moved quietly, scanning each room until she found him. Her father lay still, eyes closed, frail beneath layers of medical equipment. Machines beeped gently beside him. A nurse offered a quiet smile. He was stable, but unresponsive. ISA leaned in close, her voice low. "Hey Dad, it's me." There was no response. She reached for his hand, now so much smaller than hers. "You told me to fly above the clouds," she whispered. "So I did. But not even clouds could keep me from you." A twitch. Then movement. Her heart stopped. His eyes fluttered open, cloudy, confused, but focused. "ISA," he rasped. She nodded, voice breaking, "I'm home." Tears filled his eyes. "You made it," he breathed. His fingers curled weakly around hers. Outside the room, a nurse discreetly captured a photo. Not for media. Just for ISA. Proof that she had made it in time. Back at Maxwell, the mess hall felt quieter, more grounded. Trump visited again, without formality. No cameras. Just breakfast. He walked to ISA's usual table. It sat empty. Sergeant Dawson approached him. "She made it," he said. "They say her dad recognized her." Trump smiled faintly. "Good," he replied. That tray was never meant to stay empty. He took a seat at her spot and began to eat, quietly. A young cadet, tray in hand, hesitated nearby. Trump gestured him over. "Only if you're not planning to leave that tray empty," he said with a grin. The cadet chuckled and joined him.